Idiocracy is a futuristic satire directed by Mike Judge. Now, Mike Judge, as everyone knows, loved to do some satire with some of his things, like Beavis and Butthead, a perfect satire on 90s teenage laziness. Office Space, which satirizes workforce boredom. And Idiocracy made a few years before King of the Hill's cancellation a social satire about the stupidity of people that just keeps getting on the rise as years progress. When you watch Idiocracy, it does seem, even though the majority of the movie takes place 500 years into the future, it's kind of frightening to see how possible all that stuff actually is. Even though, yes, we'll be long gone by then, still, society crumbling like that, whoa. So the movie takes place in present day 2005. And Luke Wilson plays this average Joe. He's not super smart, but he isn't dumb either. Works for the army, and he's been chosen because of how normal he is to be a part in this cryogenic freezing process thingy. And Maya Rudolph is this uneducated prostitute who is going to essentially join him because, doesn't have a whole lot of strings holding her down, so why not? Some accidents end up happening in the process, and they end up reawakening 500 years into the future. Like, even though it's 500 years later, and, technology is supposed to be getting better, science is supposed to be getting better, people themselves are progressively getting stupider and lazier. And whenever doctors in the future try to do some things, some good breakthroughs, it's for the worst and laziest and stupidest things. So when Wilson and Rudolph wake up, Wilson is declared to be a total genius. And Maya Rudolph, who herself plays a really stupid character, is still herself much smarter than everyone on Earth. They both want to do all they possibly can to travel back to their own present. They try to do all they can to find different areas, but too many stupid people get in their ways, and they realize, what, do we really stand a chance in possibly getting back to our present day? The movie does have a good aim for it. Because even though the movie came out in 2006, here we are almost 20 years later, the way that society has been as of recent, it's, as I said, it's really not that far off. I mean, like, when you look at reality TV and celebrities, like, the way that they're able to make the stupidest people in the world famous, it's like, are you kidding me? And like, even when you look at the extreme woke culture, I'm not saying that all of woke is super terrible, but when you have those extremists that are part of the woke culture, one could even argue that stuff is like, are you kidding me? Yeah, things like that are kind of like indicators of where the world is going to head if we don't smarten up. Mike Judge, he does have good aim for it, but I don't think that movie was well executed. And although the movie does sound good written on paper, and probably would have been good if it was just a sketch on Saturday Night Live, or even if Beavis and Butthead are watching a clip of something. Because the movie being stretched to about 85 minutes long, it does get kind of repetitive with some of its jokes of just regular dumb people, but at the same time, there has to be a good method behind the madness. There has to be a good method behind the stupidity. Idiocracy doesn't contain any of that. Usually, when you watch good films about stupid people being front and center, there's something like Dumb and Dumber and Being There. The reason those films are good is because while they do center on dumb people, everyone else surrounding them are all smart people, and they think that the sad dumb person is really really smart. But in Idiocracy, it's the other way around. You have someone who's relatively smart being surrounded by a whole bunch of stupid people. So when you watch it, like the stupidity, it just gets so monotonous, so repetitive. The comedy in this isn't all there. At least with some other things like a Dumb and Dumber or a Being There, you could tell that they put a lot of thought into how they're going to make the things like stupid, like for the main character's sake, but also smart, so that it's not just hey, want to hear a funny joke? Poop. There's too much of that sort of stuff in this one, with Luke Wilson as the straight man being just looking all confused, like what the hell's going on here. That's why, in the case of Idiocracy, it did not work. It could, as I said, it would have worked in a different circumstances, different length, but a full-length feature film, good intentions, but it didn't work. So I'll give Idiocracy from 2006 2 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.